all born sovereigns, we're all born free.
The idea of sovereignty is there's no jurisdiction, there's nothing above me.
They've decided to check out from federal and state laws.
Realism, true facts never get in the way of this movement.
The word sovereign means possessing supreme or ultimate power. Those that declare themselves sovereign believe only in their own authority, and getting into the movement begins with a tangible declaration.
I, James Ronald of Pegg's family, am a natural, freeborn sovereign without subjects.
Jim Peggs is one of about 300,000 Americans the FBI classifies as sovereign citizens, though Peggs doesn't like that term because citizen means subject of.
I am not in any jurisdiction, for I'm not a subject status.
He doesn't pay taxes. He believes our paper money is worthless. The only laws he observes are those he agrees to follow, discarding those he says aren't legitimate.
No such laws, nor their enforcers, have any authority over me.
He's put his reasons down on paper in this declaration, filed with the Guilford County Register of Deeds 6 years ago.
Is a way of being very much in tune with our original documents, the Constitution, the Declaration, and declaring our rights back. In other words, I'm canceling all false contracts.
Peggs considers himself a pacifist, and he or any other sovereign could be your neighbor, but the FBI considers him and those that share his beliefs to be anti-government extremists and potentially domestic terror threats.
On a football field, there are sidelines, there are rules, there are referees, and that's the only thing that keeps it from being a melee, a ruckus. So if you have a contingent out there that believes that all of the rule book just doesn't apply to them, that's a problem whether it's in society or a football game. Either way, it creates chaos.
Greensboro Detective Corey Flowers and his partner Rob Finch are the experts on this movement. When the FBI and other departments need to understand these self-separatists, they call the Greensboro Police Department.
I wouldn't call it a cult because with a cult you have one charismatic leader.
The most common way police run into sovereigns is through traffic stops. Sovereigns don't like those.
I believe that the government is misusing these officers to raise money. So instead of being a protector of society, they are harassing society.
The items on this table are proof that some people in this movement have exited society, and in some cases, reality.
Mailed the original citation back to the trooper and writing refusal for cause on it, basically saying, I don't accept your contract. This is signed by Hillary Clinton, so I think we can, on its face, get rid of this. These are not vanity tags. They put them on the back and blatantly drive them the city streets.
This stuff looks official. It's not.
It's fraudulent, not worth the paper it's printed on.
They believe these items are more legitimate than what you and I get from the DMV or from the federal government.
But it costs you $2 to make it, and these guys sell them for $150.
And if public officials interfere with these governments of one, there are consequences.
If they want to go out and sell property, this could become a problem.
In the Guilford County Register of Deeds office, you'll find dozens of property liens and lawsuits filed by sovereigns against public figures.
Guilford County DA has a $800 million lien filed against them. Our clerk of court, $800 million lien. 2 local law firms, $1 billion in liens. Bank of America, $200 billion. They got off easy.
It's been coined as paper terrorism.
We're trying to stay within the law. We're trying to stay nonviolent.
Some officers who just literally aren't trained up and don't know better often will, they'll derelict their duty because they're afraid of getting sued and getting liens on their property.
Laugh all you want at a multi-million-dollar lien or lawsuit. Guilford County District Court Judge Tom Gerald did until he nearly missed the chance to refinance his house.
Phone rings and it's the closing attorney, and he says, well, Judge, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we've got you locked into that low rate. The bad news is you've got a $70 million lien against you.
Judge Gerald eventually got that figured out, and as of December 1st, it's a felony in North Carolina to file a false lien. Peggs sees it as a loss in the battle to be truly free. That's a battle that involves all of us, whether or not we choose to fight it.
I'm not representing any particular group. I don't have any axe to grind. I'm just, like thousands of people across the country, concerned about why things aren't the way they're supposed to be.
In Greensboro, Mitch Carr, Fox 8 News.
Now on WWAY at 6, we're breaking down sovereign citizens, people that are anti-government. Thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 6. I'm Chris Phillips.
And I'm CACKY CATLETT. Imagine a world where laws don't apply to you and you're not responsible for any taxes. Sovereign citizens live like that.
It's a catch-all phrase referring to people who are anti-government. Their actions have ranged from false court filings to disregarding laws to murder. Brunswick County Sheriff's deputies ran into one special high-speed chase recently. Good Morning Carolina anchor Ashley Jacobs explains who they are and how dangerous they can be in a special report you saw first on 3.
The FBI categorizes sovereign citizens as domestic terrorists.
Captain Mose Highsmith with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says at first glance there's nothing illegal about being a sovereign citizen.
Where things start to become illegal is that because of following that dogma, if you will, some of these people believe that they don't have to have a driver's license, they don't have to pay insurance, they don't have to have a license plate, they don't have to comply with lawful direction from law enforcement officers.
Case in point, this high-speed chase in Supply 2 months ago.
I am not running from you guys. I am asking what
Ma'am, I think you are running from the police. You need to pull over.
Deputy Joe Cherry arrested Jennifer Melissa Herring that night.
You do have to use the utmost caution because you don't know what the person is willing to do because they don't recognize you as any authority figure. They do tend to recognize sheriffs over police officers for some odd reason because sovereign citizens are a re-emerging trend.
In the most extreme cases, sovereign citizens can be destructive, even deadly. Timothy McVeigh, the man behind the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, was a sovereign citizen. His actions killed 168 people, including 19 children, and injured more than 680. In 2010, a traffic stop in Arkansas turned into a deadly shootout between police and 2 sovereign citizens. Father-son duo Jerry and Joseph Kane killed 2 officers before officers killed them.
If these folks hold really passionate views that the government has no authority over them, they may result to violence.
New Hanover County Sheriff's spokesman, Sergeant Jerry Brewer, says his agency's deputies have not had as many run-ins with sovereign citizens as those in Brunswick County, but they are prepared.
We do training that involves learning more about sovereign citizens and their beliefs. We've sent some guys to training in areas for sovereign citizenship, and it's just something we have to be aware of.
But the threat goes beyond violence and disregard for the rule of law. Experts say sovereign citizens use scare tactics through the very legal system they disclaim to intimidate. These actions are considered paper terrorism. Among their tactics, filing bogus claims and false liens against officers and judges, which can destroy credit or just tie them up in court. Herring, who is charged with drunk driving and other offenses in that chase in Brunswick County, filed her paperwork in Brunswick County Court, claiming she is not a member of any corporate or political body. Experts say her paperwork fits the mold of other sovereign citizens, including not capitalizing United States of America. Whether she recognizes its jurisdiction or not, Herring is due in court next month. Ashley Jacobs, WWAY News Channel 3.
Late last year, a new state law made it a felony to knowingly file a false lien or encumbrance, that is, against a public official or employee based on that person's performance of official duties. The law also lets the Register of Deeds reject such a filing.